We have team coverage of the government shutdown for you. Let's begin with Axios congressional reporter Stephen Neukam. Stephen, thanks for being here this morning. Tell us what you can about what is or isn't happening on Capitol Hill this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. Uh, on Capitol Hill this morning, I think we're just sort of settling into this shutdown as, somewhat unceremoniously. The Senate will be in today voting on government funding bills that we do not expect to pass. I don't think you'll see really any change in the outcome there, but they're also voting on nominees, a number of President Trump's nominees that Senate Republicans have set up to be confirmed. So there's still work that will go on, and lawmakers will sort of settle in to this as the new normal, I guess, for at least this week, and it could be the foreseeable future.
You talk about the new normal. There's been a lot of partisan arguing back and forth. What are the major sticking points, the points of debate that got us to this point?
Yeah, Republicans sort of approached this issue saying that they need a what they called a clean extension of government funding. They wanted a 7-week solution that got them through the middle of November. Democrats rejected that. Democrats said that they want Republicans essentially to engage with them on extending tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. Folks all across the country are about to be hit with insurance premium increases because those tax credits are going to expire at the end of the year. Democrats also brought a number of other demands to the table, but the healthcare asks and the Affordable Care Act tax credits were really chief among those demands. And Republicans in the White House were just not willing to engage in that negotiation ahead of a shutdown, and now we're in one, and we'll have to see if that dynamic changes for each side.
The atmosphere just didn't seem to feel very ripe for true negotiations. So, why didn't the Democrats just agree to a short term spending plan that Republicans were supporting to buy time to work out these other issues? Is it just a question of the two sides are just so divided right now that they just felt there was no point in doing that?
I think that that's definitely part of it. I mean, the Democrats on Capitol Hill just don't trust President Trump and the White House at this point to even really honor any agreement that they make. I mean, at this, you have to remember the president has done a ton of really unprecedented actions to sort of claw back federal funding that's already been appropriated by Congress. So I think that that's part of it. And then there's another part of it that I think this is self-preservation for Democratic Party leaders. I mean, they understand that their base wants them to fight, and there's only really a handful of inflection points in Congress where they have the leverage to fight, and this is one of those. And in March, when they decided to fund the government, just 6 months ago, party leaders faced a lot of criticism. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, a lot of criticism for doing that, and I think they understood that they needed a different outcome this time.
In recent years in Washington, it often seems like we're on the verge of a shutdown, a precipice of disaster. Well, why does this keep happening?
Yeah, this is just, for better or worse, this is just sort of how Congress works. I mean, they give themselves as much time as possible right up into the deadline. I've learned, covering these sort of government shutdown situations before, that there's not a lot of progress until sometimes the very, very end, sometimes the day of. And this was a unique situation, actually, over the last few days where it felt like we were just resigned to a shutdown. We were resigned to these sort of lines being drawn in the sand, and the idea that a shutdown was a prerequisite at this point to the two sides talking to each other.
We know that the last shutdown, the longest ever, was 35 days. Do you get the sense there in Washington, Stephen, that people are gearing up for what could be a lengthy shutdown?
It could be a lengthy one. I mean, I don't think that there is any situation where this gets resolved this week. Again, lawmakers are on Capitol Hill today. I don't expect anything to change today. They'll be out on Thursday for Yom Kippur and back in through the weekend. But, these are not two sides that have really even engaged with each other very heavily on this issue yet. They're not really talking as much as they need to. And I think they want to see how the pressure builds on each other. Public sentiment, where does that go? Who gets blamed for this shutdown before they engage each other at the negotiating table again?